Usually they are, I think.
Yeah,
I need you
that's a
some
good
of
idea. I
that.
don't know why I didn't think about that. Thanks.
Kelly says you're welcome.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I've never actually had anything with like black truffle on it, so I want to try them.
Truffle's good. It's very strong though. Like
I
only put a little bit
love
on it.
mushroom.
It's very different than mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's very, very strong. Trust me.
Yeah, it's
You now go like this for like a long time.
go like this for a long time. Oh, okay.
Like that.
Okay,
There
like
you go.
this.
No, just
Oh, okay, like this.
you're not creating enough wind. Like you're fanning yourself.
Okay. Wait, this is how you do nails?
I mean, normally you'd have like a little machine that you stick your hands in, or you
That
can
would
blow
like
'em
cure it.
out, or also get paint everywhere. They take a really long time to dry, so they'll take
Oh, really? How long does it take to dry?
10 minutes.
Thomas, am I beautiful?
You're beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
This is
Anytime.
I feel like this is kind of whorish.
That's what your cyberpunk guy looks like.
Is that what you think about people who paint their nails? They whores.
Well, these colors, these look, these look like the hands of a woman of the night.
I think
We went to Wendy's the other day and we got handed drinks by a hand that was a woman of the night. They were like long claw nails and they were like green and purple. And I was like, you're not supposed to have nails in food service, but I didn't say that because I'm not a dick. I was like thinking it.
Nice, nice.
Is the Starbucks manager at me that had to tell people to take their nails off.
Oh, is that a rule? What?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You can't work with food if you have like nails. Not supposed to.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's gonna glow in the dark too.
It glows in the dark?
Yeah. If you gotta like let it charge in the sunlight though.
It has to charge in the sunlight?
Yeah.
My hand has to charge?
Yes.
This is super cyberpunk.
This is so cyberpunk. Did you beat Cyberpunk, Thomas?
Um, with one playthrough I did.
Oh, nice, nice. Are you gonna play Phantom Liberty?
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm playing through the Dishonored series right now.
Oh, which
Um,
one?
I just finished the regular Dishonored 1. I've already played Dishonored 2, and I'm working on the DLCs now. Yeah,
Nice. It's
it's really good.
cool how there's different ways to complete it.
Yeah, I am delighted by it. We're also doing a role play game that's like heavily influenced by the Dishonored world, at least like the people that built the game. Pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, who are you playing with?
Uh Justin, me and Greg have played maybe like 4 or 5 sessions since Greg's moved in. Um
Really?
yeah. It's called Blades in the Dark.
Hmm.
Is the like game, so like Monster of the Week or D&D, that's its name.
Yeah.
And it's got a really cool feature where you're criminals in like some type of dark city or dark world, and they have their own setting, but we used a different games. We used Disco Elysium setting. um
Hmm.
and you're criminals trying to build a criminal empire. So all of
Really?
the sessions are based on scores, where you go and you do a scores. So depending on what your organization does and what the situation is, the score will change. But that is all of the action is in the score. So um you're either like gathering information or doing downtime stuff, which has its own mechanics for like leveling you up or getting you more stuff. And
Hmm.
then you do a score. And every time you do a score, you're taking something from another criminal faction. So you're always
Hmm.
pissing somebody off with what you do. Um,
Interesting.
and so, it could be assassinate this guy or like steal their drugs or, frame somebody for something, that's just any criminal thing. And it's a really uh, consequence heavy game. You roll pools of 6-sided dice and you take the highest number, and 3 and below is failing, 4 or 5 is mixed success, and 6 is success.
Is it?
And yeah, it's just a very, very fun, different experience.
Could I jump in? Like, or does it, or you can't have somebody new jump in because it's like you've built up your
You could
character
always
already.
like include other characters, but I want to get more familiar with it first. I'm still
Oh,
like looking up the rules as I'm going.
oh,
But
oh.
it's got this really cool mechanic where when you're doing a score, you can do a flashback, which is literally like Ocean's 11. Like if a guard comes up to you, you can like pause time and do a flashback, and go and like play out the scene of you bribing this guard beforehand.
Interesting. That does sound pretty complicated, though. That sounds way more complicated than even
Yeah,
like.
it has more mechanics than like Monster of the Week. Whereas Monster of the Week, everything is just like the single kind of die roll, and you're doing different moves. Whereas this game has like different pools that you pull from, but it's not too bad. It's just one of those things like once you know it, you know it. But it doesn't follow any kind of system that's like consistent. Like Monster of the Week is super consistent. You know, it's always the same type of dice. It's easy to know how many dice you have. Whereas Blades, it's like if you want to do this thing, then it works this way, and if you want to do that thing, it works this way, because you have a different pool of points to pull from. Kind of like you have luck in Monster of the Week, you have stress in Blades in the Dark. So whenever you do a flashback, you take stress. Whenever you do one of your special abilities, you take stress. You can always add a dice to anything that you're doing to like try to actually accomplish it, and you take stress for that. But if you get more than 7 stress, then you're out of the game temporarily for the rest of that score, and you take a trauma, and that influences the role play of your character. So like a trauma could be like you're haunted now, or you're
You were
anxiety driven. You could become a drug addict. Like there's a number of things that can happen that will influence your role play as you go. But yeah, we should look into it sometime. It's super cool.
Kelly was like, those recordings can be seen by managers. I was like, I'm fine with that. There's no way that they're listening to these meetings.
No, they don't have time for that.
I had a question for you. So I know I've read Heroes, I've read Red Country, and I read the First Law trilogy, and I think I recommended it to you. Did you pick it up because I recommended it?
Yeah. Also, since you talked about it, I looked it up on like Reddit, and it's in the same vein. Like people that like Prince of Nothing, they recommend Joe Abercrombie and Glenn Cook. Like those are the like 3 that like if you like grimdark fantasy that's really dark, like those are the 3 for you.
And if you like those, you're also gonna really like Prince of Thorns. Have you read that trilogy? I'll send it to you over Teams at work because I can't type right now.
You can't, or you won't be as beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can mouse click,
but very carefully.
But you can't type.
Yeah,
you can fan.
Always.
No, you gotta. It's in the wrist. It's in the wrist and the. There you go. Yeah. You don't really have to move your arm. You have to move your hands.
Oh.
Yeah, there you
go. That's how I type. That's how I type now.
I hope Chrissy's watching and she's like, he's wrong.
It kind of looks like I'm typing at like super speed.
You like that cat.
Yeah, yes, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So it's there's 3 books. It's a trilogy. First one is like Prince of Thorns, and then it's like the last one's maybe King of Thorns,
Is there
something
like a
along those
hooded
lines.
assassin looking guy on the cover?
Yes, yeah,
Mark Lawrence. Yeah, I've
yes.
definitely picked these up and have been like, probably something I'd like. I'll get it
Mhm,
later.
mhm. The First Law trilogy is better, but it's definitely along the same lines where your hero is definitely not a hero. Like he I don't even know if he's like an anti-hero. Like he's worse than the Punisher. Like he's kind
Nice.
of a bad person. Yeah.
I don't know. I find it more realistic when a character gets to a point that they're like, you know, fuck it, I'm surviving and trying to make the best of like each moment, so I'm not really following a moral code. That rings truer
Yeah.
to me than a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not that I need my fantasy to like feel real or ring true like that. But when it does and it's done well, it really engages me. Like it keeps me hooked
Yeah.
because they're not doing the things that I would do if I was like role playing or like, you know,
Mhm.
it's hard to make characters like that that are nuanced and engaging and do things that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I would say Prince of Thorns, like within the first couple of chapters, you're very uncomfortable because he's got like this band of basically thugs and they're just raping and
Ugh.
burning villages and just slaughtering babies and just running across the countryside and you're like wait, this is the main character, like this
Yeah,
is the person
I'm
I'm
on board with this guy.
yeah, I'm like, "Mm, okay," and then he's dispatching people even worse than him, and you're like, "All right, well, I guess I'll go with it."
That's the
Um,
guy we wrote the book about. Like,
how far are you in First Law? Because I'm interested that you didn't start with Red Country, which is interesting, but that's honestly kind of good because if you do the first three First
you
Law
had
books,
recommended, I think, that Red Country first.
yeah.
Um, I think so when you recommended it to me, and I didn't
Mhm,
like get this one out of any like, haha, I'm gonna read it this way. But this was
mhm.
the first one written, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Which like that, like I wanted to do it that way.
Okay.
Because that's just like how I've traditionally done it. Like when I
Yeah,
read Sanderson, somebody like guided me through like the order of reading. Because
yeah.
I had read the first in the I think it was The Way of Kings is the first in the Stormlight
Mhm,
archives.
mhm.
And so a friend of mine was like, okay, stop and do it in this order. And I can't remember exactly the order, but I know it was um Elantris first, and then I think
Oh,
Way of Kings, and then Warbreaker, and then the second one in the Stormlight archives. And the
huh.
reason he had me read it that way was to introduce what Hoyt is doing like
Yeah.
throughout the series.
Oh,
And so I
okay.
understood when Hoyt left and came back with a different magical power from a different place. And it was really a really cool curated way to like read the series.
You're gonna have to tell me how all that works because I had no idea. I just read Elantris with my cousin, and that was amazing. Like, I love
Atlantis is
that book,
so good. It's so good.
right? Like, that concept of, like, you get this disease, and then you kinda get pitched over this wall into this place where, like, everyone's basically a zombie and you can never die, but it sucks because if you get wounded, then you have to just run around with your wounds permanently, and it's
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
just so bad. And I
look,
love how the magic was so
wow.
simple. It's just like runes based on like geography and topography. They're like
Yes.
connected to ley lines of the world or
Yeah.
whatever, however you wanted to think of it. And I thought that was
That's
really
so
elegant and simple. Um,
yeah.
and so heavily foreshadowed, but like you'd never figure it out
Mhm.
until the reveal.
Yeah. The Sanderlanche. Have you heard
Sanderlanche.
about the Sanderlanche?
No.
He puts all these pieces in place in his books, and then it all comes together in like the last third, and it's not an avalanche, it's the Sanderlanche where everything comes together that he's set up.
I like that. Oh dang, I
Where
have coffee. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab
Oh yeah.
it.
Yep. Yep. Do me.
Oh yeah. Anytime, baby.
Bedazzle me.
I don't know.
Wait, is this gonna work? Because I don't think it's dried yet.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's already dry? Amazing.
I'll give you an eyeball with a hair bow.
Absolutely.
It's very random Sanrio.
I would have dangled it, but I just put lotion on. Now I have to get to the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Little fingernail.
I have little fingernails? Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah, why are my fingernails like so much smaller?
Oh.
Nice. I like it.
You can have a bored donut.
Yeah, that one sounds good too. Wait, what's a bored donut?
He's a bored donut.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is a donut that looks bored. She started giving me Hello Kitty stickers.
Nice. Man, those are finite. She must like you.
Oh yeah. This is Hello Kitty. I'm super bedazzled now.
Yeah, dude. People are gonna be so jealous.
I know. Where are you doing the audiobook for First Law?
No. Um, let's see. I am just after Captain Jazal saw Glocta take the noble at the request of the lector.
Oh yeah. And I think the guy is innocent, but he'll just basically torture you until he gets you to say what he wants, right? Because he's like a corrupt inquisitor, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love
that's
Glocta already. He's already my favorite character. I definitely hope he stays my favorite character because I want him to keep doing shitty things that I really like.
yep. Yep.
I'm a
He's
Glocta fan.
uh he's my second favorite character. He's amazing, but then you come across another character that's just like so wild and amazing. Like, but I followed like the same progression where as soon as you meet Glocta and he's describing, I think he describes in detail going down the stairs um with like his cane and like the pain that it causes him and how he can only eat like oatmeal or something.
Yeah, like soup and stuff like that. Yeah, because they knocked
Yep.
out all of his teeth, except like they
Yep.
knocked out ones at the top and bottom so that they don't join up. So his teeth
Mhm.
never touch other teeth. So he's got like
Mhm.
like a jack-o'-lantern like smile.
Yeah. Yeah. His characterization, like bringing those characters to life and making them seem real is just like incredible. And I don't want to spoil anything for First Law, but I remember reading the First Law and I think it's right around maybe like one third in, and I was just there's something that happened and I was just blown away by it, and I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming at all. So I'm anxious for you to get to that part, and I'm also glad that you're doing the trilogy first and then Red Country, because you'll have some surprises.
Oh, nice.
Uh yeah. They definitely all tie in together, which is really, really cool. Are you
Trying to
looking
find
for it?
blocked is like click tap pain. Yeah,
Yeah,
click
yeah.
tap pain. That's it. I was right.
Yep.
Should have gone with my gut.
Um he he also did another series. It's much shorter. Half a prince, half a man
Yeah, I think it's
series.
half a prince. Yeah.
Yeah. Um I did the first book of that like trilogy. It's not nearly as good in my
Yeah.
opinion. I mean,
I mean, it's commendable that authors are able to like write their baby that they've thought about all throughout their young
mhm.
adulthood and then
Yep,
still write
yep.
something else that's excellent. Oh, Harry Dresden's Cinder Spires series, the second comes out on November 7th, and there's a novella that comes between the first two that's already released that I didn't know about. And I really enjoyed the first book. It was very fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're
It's
gonna,
like steampunky, all the world lives on these spires, as far as you're aware.
yeah.
There's like weird airships powered by crystals and shit. Like cats talk,
Huh.
which is awesome. He does cats very well.
If if you want to do that one, I'll totally do that one with you if you want.
Oh yeah, I think Christy would really enjoy Dresden, like Jim Butcher humor, um,
Yeah?
and I really enjoyed that series.
Yeah, yeah. Um we can definitely do that as like the next one. Absolutely.
Man, but on the flip
Um
side, I would love to read Piranesi. You should absolutely read Piranesi. It's so fucking good. Oh, it's so good, dude. Like I literally had to stop myself from reading it. Like I had to be like, I'm gonna eat this book up in 2 sittings, and it's so good. I don't want to do that. Um,
what?
it, yeah, it's just delightful. You just love the character, and you love learning about him, and you love seeing him learn things, and it's just super great.
Interesting. I don't I have a bad habit of like starting multiple books. So I might just like do Pure Nessie like on the side and like Cinder Spires on the side. So
Hmm.
hello.
Hi, friend.
Hello. How are you guys?
I'm
Good.
beautiful.
He is
Oh my
beautiful.
goodness, you are. Wait, are your nails painted?
You probably have to. There we go.
Sorry, all I
What?
could see was your ring at first. Wait, what is that? Oh,
Hello,
oh,
kitty.
oh, and
Hello,
hello.
Hello,
kitty.
Is it?
kitty.
There is also a kitty here. Hello. Please don't sit on my mouse. That's gross.
I'm gonna sit on your mouse now.
Poor
Oh, your
donut.
hand must be licked. Did you
It
just get home?
must be. I did.
If you need to take a
Oh
second
my
to go have your
gosh.
hand cleaned, I understand.
It's okay. It will happen here now. It's already happening. I can't
That
tell
okay
what the
for the
rest of
internet to
them
have?
are.
I'll show you tomorrow.
I
Come
think
on,
the
honey.
internet will enjoy.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
Poor
the
donut.
internet enjoys cats. We know the internet loves cats, so
Oh,
Man, Newton's being sweet right now and he's asleep on the couch, but he's been an asshole these past couple days.
yeah. Sometimes we have that. Ponyo's been super sweet because we were out of town, and so now she's like, "You're back," and she's super happy.
oh.
But
Newton is just always an asshole for the like 4 hours before he gets fed, but it's been really bad lately.
yeah, I know what that's like. That's kind of how
Yeah.
you are.
I tried to go to bed early last night to keep watching Charmed because that's my life right now. Um,
Mhm.
it's so bad, guys. It's so
I
bad. I
bet it
love it.
is.
It's not good?
it's,
That's
it's
how I feel about all
horrible.
of those, like Charmed and like Dawson's Creek and like uh what are some other ones? I can't even there's
That's so cool. What
oh
the
my
heck?
gosh. That's awesome.
Is that Star Wars going on there?
Yes, it is Star Wars.
It looks like Star Wars technology.
It does.
It's very Star Wars.
You're in the future.
Oh, the rest of the book club will be conducted in this manner. Oh,
Awesome.
hello.
Hello.
I just finished Silverchair, and
Yeah.
that that m- that may be one of the best out of the 7.
Yeah? It's my
I think
favorite.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying that it was your. Oh God. I remember you saying that it was your favorite, and when I got to the end of it, I kind of I figured out, why you thought that way, because that twist where they go into the underworld and
Yeah.
they meet the knight, and he's like, every night I get chained to this silver chair so that I don't turn into a serpent. And he's like, don't free me, otherwise I'm going to turn into a monster. And then as soon as he gets chained to the silver chair, they're like, hey, let's go check it out and like see what happens. And then he's like, just kidding, guys, actually I'm under an enchantment and you definitely do need to free me, and there's an evil witch and she's like kept me down here for all these years, and you have to break me free right now. And I'm like, oh my God, like what should they do? This is such a crazy twist. Like, should
Yeah.
they free this guy? Is he going to turn into a monster? Like, what's going to happen? I don't know. And then he's like, I call upon the name of Aslan. And I was like, oh. And they're like, that's the sign. Free him. And then he like, beheads the serpent woman. And I'm just like, I did not see that twist coming at all. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's great. There's something a little extra about that one, and like the underworld part of it is super cool too.
Oh yeah.
I love the
To-
Father Time like drop
Yeah.
in there.
To me, I think it always felt a little that's amazing. A little darker, I guess, compared to the other
Yeah.
stories, which is
Yeah.
that always tends to be my favored type of stories, like, which is kind of why I really like in Harry Potter, the 3rd book and the last book, because there's something darker about those two. I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, Harry Potter gets darker as it goes. Like every book is darker than the last, but the 3rd one feels like such a departure almost from the first 2,
Yeah, it's a huge
because they're like
departure.
these young kids that
Huh.
are so innocent, and yeah. But I've always felt that way about Silverchair too, so it's exciting.
It definitely does feel like the darkest out of all of them. Like the character of Puddleglum is just awesome. He's just
Mhm.
so
Puddleglum's the
depressed,
fucking
and
best, dude. I love Puddleglum
yeah,
so
he's just
much.
so depressed and anxious all the time. And then I love that one passage where the witch is getting them under her enchantment, and she gets to the point where I think they even deny that the sun even exists anymore, and they're like, oh yeah, they're like in a trance. And then Puddleglum is like, well, I have to break everyone out of the trance. So there's like this, I think like a smoke.
MVP.
Yeah, and the smoke is like filling the cave, and he takes like his little frog foot and steps on the fire, and then suddenly like the smell of like burning Puddleglum like fills the air, and then everyone kind of breaks out of the trance. And I thought that was such a cool scene. And there's like this funny line in there where they're like, yes, and the smell of like a burning wiggle, what is he, a wiggle marsh?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Marsh Wiggle, I think.
Or
Marsh
maybe
wiggle.
it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
What
line
is
was like, the smell of a burning marsh wiggle will definitely not put you in a trance or something like that. So
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
Marsh Wiggle.
marsh wiggle.
Hello. You're in the way.
No, mama.
Whoa, oh,
Thank
Oh,
you.
oh,
Just for you.
Yep.
man.
I feel so honored.
You've been honored. I love cats.
Oh my gosh. I do too. They're the best. It's like,
Newton does it, but it's always on accident. You know, it's like he'll
yeah.
like climb on us, but he always has to move. So he only moves forward.
Right.
So he just like gets to the wall and he'll literally be like head down, like shoulders into the wall. And he'll like look to the side and like try to turn him one way. Like so then you just get the butt and then he like slides down your shoulder. Sweet Newton.
So sweet. I don't think there's like a better animal than cats. I mean, dogs are really close, for sure. But I think I love both, but I'm more of a cat person than I am a dog person.
Hmm.
But I do love both. Too bad we
Also,
can't
I
have a
love
dog.
when an author is willing to injure one of their characters. That's always really powerful. So like
Yeah,
Puddleglum, like willing to do that himself. And I
kind
also
of the
like the
same.
idea that like her tragedy wasn't like it was too alien, and Puddleglum was like, no, I know sorrow. This isn't real. Like
Yeah, kind of the same with
Uh,
Reaper Cheap. Like
yeah.
I think is he like basically dead or is he dying? He's like basically dying if he's not already dead. Like they come to the end of the battle and bring him to Aslan.
Hmm.
But either
Is
way,
that?
no, I think he's like on the brink of death because he just has so many wounds,
Oh.
and then Lucy uses her like vial on him
Oh, that's
to
right.
heal him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he
He
still
has like
doesn't have
that.
a tail. Yeah,
Yeah. And he
Poor
got so
Reaper.
much trash for not having a tail. And he's like going back and forth with Aslan, I think, and he's like, I need a tail.
and Aslan's like,
I
"Are
love
you
that part.
sure? Why would you need one?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi.
Kitty. We heard that.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
we could
purr.
hear it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. It was
Perfect.
awesome.
Perfect. She's such
I
a loud
love
purr. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
love how anxious and depressed Puddleglum is. And he's just like, "Oh, but if we go into the underworld, we might die. Oh, just stab me in the heart with 1,000 knives."
Just
And
kill me
and
now.
like, yeah, Eustace and Jill, they're just like, "What is this guy's deal?" Like,
I love the scene when they're walking through the canyons where the giants are throwing boulders.
yeah.
And they're like, oh no, this is so dangerous. And Puddleglum's like, it would actually be better if they were going to aim at us. They'd be less likely to hit us.
Ah!
I'm like, I love you, Puddleglum.
Wow.
I
It's
know.
almost a little bit Debbie Downer-ish, like from SNL.
Mhm.
Wah, wah,
Wah,
Mhm.
wah.
I love Debbie
Yeah, it's so good.
I also liked that twist where I think Jill slides down the incline and gets stuck in a trench, and then they continue their way on to Castle Harfang, I think.
Yeah.
And then when they get up higher, they realize that the trench that they were walking in was actually spelling out words, and it's like a giant message.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
Downer.
about that. That's so
That
cool.
Yeah, that was a super super cool twist too. Like there's I could see why Silverchair would be your favorite because there's so many like twists and stuff like that
Yeah.
that you're not expecting.
Yeah.
Um it was well written.
Forgot about that.
I've been
I
bad and I
remember.
started reading a different book.
Keep
It's okay.
going. You're
It's
good.
there's giants too. Don't they go into like a like
Hmm.
giant land or whatever? Okay, yeah. That's
Yep.
what I thought.
Yep.
And they're like gonna be eaten or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
all
They have to escape. Yeah.
Yeah.
all the
Um
scenes that really stick with me are like Puddleglum centric. Like when they're at the dinner, um, and the like aristocracy or the huntsmen are talking about how like, oh, and then the boar said this, and Puddleglum's like, stop eating right now. Like, and you're like, oh shit. Like, and it's like such a horrible moment. And Puddleglum like handles it with such grace, almost like a school teacher that you don't like, but you trust because you know that like when they're down to business, like they mean the best. It's like the vibe that I get from Puddleglum.
Yeah. I I thought he was like basically like a giant frog guy, but then when I saw the BBC movie, he seems like he's just like a normal human.
Hmm.
I remember
I
him
don't
being described as
remember.
more froggy in the book, but yeah, his portrayal is like frog person, like just like a person with like
Maybe,
a wide
yeah, he
mouth and
just
lots of
looks
lines.
very froggy. Like close enough that he could be, but he's not.
Yeah.
Because they describe Dolores Umbridge as froggy as well, and I wonder if it's like similar to that like they're just like squashed, not like pretty people with wide mouths.
Mm.
Is there? I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it's in Silverchair. Well, there's only like 2 books left in the series, and it's got to be that one. But don't they get separated in the very beginning, Eustace and Silverchair?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know
So,
why I always liked that too, because
yep.
in all of the other books, they sort of, well, okay, I guess Edmund gets separated from like the rest of his siblings, but
That's really the only other time though.
right, most of the time they're kind of all coming into Narnia together.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know, there's something kind of more interesting about that where they have to find each other and at least, well, Eustace has at least been before, but
Hmm.
the girl has never been, and so I think it's her that Aslane's like tasking her with
Yes.
finding Eustace, and yeah, it's I don't know why I always liked that as well. Just the fact that they are separated.
Yeah. It added like a cool little twist to it, I thought. Because he kind of like uses his breath, which I thought was another
Oh yeah.
allusion to God, because like that concept of
Right.
like Garden of Eden when the first man and well, the first man was created, so God like breathed life into
Life
him.
into him. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I felt like that was like another allusion to the Bible because they end up in this new land after coming from what they called experiment school, which I was like, why is it called experiment school?
Experiment school.
Right, yeah, it was such an odd name. I'm like, why are you going to a school called experiment school? That doesn't sound safe, but okay. And
I feel like it had a different
yeah,
connotation back then.
right.
Yeah, maybe.
um Eustace arrives first and then she's kind of blown by herself and given I think 4 signs that they need to find the prince. So, but
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, that's
And
right.
then
Okay.
she runs up to him and she's like, all like nervous and she's like, do you see someone here that you know? We need to talk to him immediately to basically complete the first sign. Um yeah, it just I think I like the fact that they were separated because it adds more of a sense of like urgency
Right.
and
And
like
like
kind of
responsibility almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
and tension. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to read it now.
Yeah.
Also, I love seeing Eustace's change in Voyage of the Dawn Treader and then getting him again in the
Yeah.
silver chair. And you're just like, man, I love this character. Like, I like seeing that he
Yeah.
developed. And I really latched onto that as a kid, too. That was something that really impressed itself upon me.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely has matured. You can tell he's matured between Dawn Treader and
Mhm.
Silverchair.
Yep.
It's a
Yep.
good change. Yeah. I like his
but
story.
he's still a bit of a douche.
That's yeah, okay. That's true.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
He's got more maturing to do.
Yes. Yeah. Because I remember reading Silverchair, and he has gotten better, but he still has like a bit of Eustace in him,
Old
like how
Eustace.
he
Yeah.
interacts with Jill. Yeah, you can tell it's still the same character.
Good. I mean, not good, but like at least it's not wildly like, oh, this seems so out of character for him.
Yeah.
Like almost that it doesn't make any sense.
Also, every little bit that like Caspian is in the books is just excellent. You get to really see him
I
grow and
love
change too.
Caspian. Yeah. Yeah, I love Caspian. You really do, because you see him as a boy, right? And you kind of get a brief story about how he, like how his uncle became the king, and then he like runs away so he doesn't get killed, and yeah, fights battles, and then he's like an adult. I guess I don't really know how old he is at Dawn Treader, but I think he's been king for like a while by then.
Yeah, I think he's described as like older and
Yeah.
Silverchair.
Yeah. But it is, and then he's an old man, isn't he, in Silverchair?
Yeah,
Like isn't he like almost on his deathbed? I think, or something
I
like
believe
that.
so. Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
I like that you get to see basically, I mean, sort of like his full life, or like 3 stages of his life at least.
Yeah.
and then he gets
Even
revived at the end. So more Caspian.
Woohoo!
Which like the whole like blood rebirth thing for Aslan is definitely another like allegory.
Yeah.
Mhm. Where the like the thorn was like put into his paw, and then the blood flows
Oh
out,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
yeah, that was also another big allusion to the Bible, which was interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start the last book and see. I wonder, I have the feeling like all the characters that you meet throughout the first 6 are gonna return. So it's gonna be like, like you'll get super hyped and be like, oh yeah,
They're
I
all
hope
back.
Puddleglum comes
It's
back.
basically
Yeah.
Endgame, but
Yeah.
Narnia.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Is it really?
In a sense, yeah.
Okay. Guys, you have to tell me, Puddleglum come back?
I actually don't remember.
Don't remember. God, I hope so.
I hope they're all back. Reepicheep and
Yes.
just all of
Well,
them.
how does he come back though? Because he was like
I don't
exiled
know.
at the end of the world.
I'm not really sure. He probably doesn't.
I don't remember.
Oh. No, they're like
Meanwhile,
fine.
in the book that I've been reading, I fell in love with the torturer, so that's a thing that happened. He's just so good. He's like, I'm a young man in an old man's body because life was not kind to me, and now I torture because I get it. I'm like, nice.
Cool.
To be fair, Thomas, when Christy reads the First Law trilogy, she's gonna also love Glokta. So
His name is Glokta with the K.
Is that the
Glokta.
torture that you fell in love with?
Yeah,
Is that him? Oh, okay. Yeah.
he's great.
Probably will. Oh.
What has
Oh my
happened?
gosh. Is that is that say avocado?
Here,
Oh
oh
my
oh,
god.
I love it.
Avocado. I need one. Actually, it's making me think of this little
I want to rub his.
avocado toy that we got for Ponyo. It's an avocado split in two, so it's 2 separate pieces. But
Oh, that's awesome.
one side has the seed, so it's like sticking out, and then the other side has like a
like the
concave.
Yeah.
Is it concave or convex? No,
Yeah,
concave.
cave is the cave.
Yeah. And they have little arms and legs and faces. They're really cute. And you can like put them together. But
Are those like embroidered Converses that you just showed us?
Yes.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. Oh my gosh. Which character is that? Is that a character?
All of
or is
them.
it just a cat?
I can show cute things. So the place I get my like lotion and hand soap from is called Beekman, and it's a couple gay guys, and they have lots of goats that they make all their beauty products with. And they had a little pin that they were selling. I don't know if you can see
It's so cute.
Let's
It's goat, right?
Yeah, it's a little vampire goat.
Oh, he's got wings and he does have fangs. That's so cute.
I love it. I was checking
Aw.
out and it was like, do you want this pin for $10? And I was like, yeah.
Absolutely.
I do.
Who do you think
Here's
I am?
my money.
I have
Take it.
I want to make a like cork board for pins with all of my wine corks. I'm gonna glue them together somehow and do that. So I'll let you guys know if that materializes. I have a lot of art project ideas. I just haven't done most of them.
But that's exciting though. Did you with his art project idea?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
that?
Oh, sorry.
Kelly agrees with you, Thomas.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Oh, I made the dumplings. They were marvelous.
Yeah,
They
I was gonna ask, did you make
those? Like I remember when I was a kid.
Oh, good.
It was great. I made a second batch and froze them. And I did that wrong. I should have let them get cold before like putting them in the bag because the weight of the soft dumplings kind of crushed the dumplings on the bottom. So they like burst open. So I think only like half of them will be good, which is a bummer because that took fucking forever. But that's okay. My dad's birthday is today, and I'm gonna bring him up for him this weekend.
Happy birthday.
Nice.
Thomas's dad.
So since my family would go over to my friend's house and we'd have like dinner over there, which is where we got introduced to him. So my parents like remember them too. So I get to have my dad try them because they were always like something that we looked forward to whenever we went over there. She would always make them.
That's awesome.
I love that.
They're so good.
At the very least, with the ones that sort of exploded, I guess you could just make a dumpling,
like soup
of sorts. I don't know.
I definitely could. Yeah, I could throw like some chicken stock in and like make a chicken soup and then cook them in it. And that would just be fine.
Or it would just be a bowl of broken up dumplings, and
I would eat it with a fucking spoon. It would be okay.
I would absolutely do that. It's
Thomas.
just a deconstructed dumpling.
Deconstructed.
De-dumple.
Thomas.
Hi.
Since you have already read the Narnia series, if you don't want to read the rest of it, I absolve you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna catch up. Because I stopped at Horse and His Boy. For that,
and that's
I'm sorry.
Fair. That's
I've been
fair.
an inattentive book club member.
It's okay. I have not been super present either. It's just been a long time since I've read them, so I don't even remember. Like, there's a lot that I just don't remember. So it's almost like I haven't read them.
Whatever. We're all
I remember all the Puddleglum scenes, and that's about it.
Oh, that's all you had to remember.
Doesn't he get the last word in the silver chair? Like, doesn't he say some like shitty thing at the end that I remember liking?
Probably.
I don't remember, which is bad because I just read the ending during lunch. So I remember. I remember the.
You don't want me to take it?
Oh, this is mine. I'm beautiful now. You can't take this to the rave.
What does Puddleglum say at the end of Silver Chair? Oh, it came right up. That bright mornings brought on wet afternoons, and that we can't expect good times to last.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's
Like miracles have happened, pan the camera, and Puddleglum's just like
It'll never last. It's only temporary.
going to rain
Okay.
later.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Debbie Downer.
After Narnia, did you guys want to do Piranesi because it like ties into it?
Yeah, we could do that. I
I'm
have the
totally
book.
down with that. If y'all want to read Piranesi, boy howdy, it's so
Yeah.
good. You won't be disappointed.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. But I mean, we can read whatever, because if Christy wants to do First Law, we can totally do that too.
We should do a rotation. Puddleglum, lol. The Book of Puddleglum.
Yes.
Probably.
Piranesi will be my pick for next, and then whoever wants to pick the next one.
Let's do it.
It'd be funny if like then it went to Christy and she's like, for my book, I pick the Bible.
We will be reading until the end of time.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I won't pick
Yeah,
the
we
Bible.
can. C.S. Lewis would have picked the Bible.
He probably would. Yeah, he probably would have. You're right.
Yeah. We can totally do a rotation if you guys want.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll have to think of sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
Or
Excuse me. So
Let's
rude.
got,
do
like,
it, guys.
Yeah, she's like, I'm all for. Oh.
No, I'll think of my pick, but I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be any book.
Except the
Cool.
Bible.
Except that
Don't
and-
pick the whole damn Bible.
and no self-help books. I promise it won't be any of those.
Oh, please
Oh,
don't.
oh.
Man, I would be so fucking bummed if you picked a
Oh my god.
I
Like,
might
damn, I
just do
committed
it
to this.
just to like fool you.
Oh, what's his name? The 12 stone
Is
guy.
April coming up yet? No, I'm just kidding. Let's do it. Self-help.
Alright.
Woo!
I
Nice.
pick the Alcohol Anonymous Big Book. Enjoy.
Have fun reading that.
I've only read
Nice.
like an eighth of it. We're supposed to read it in rehab, and I was like, I love reading, and I don't want to read this.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like anybody who loves reading is not going to necessarily love reading that, right? I mean, I get it.
You'd think
Well,
the
we
stories
can-
would be better.
We can wrap up the meeting because I feel like Christy needs a nap.
I
We have
always
to
need
go
a nap.
source food.
I
We
need
have
to
go
eat.
hunter
Yeah,
gather.
so I need to do that first.
She only got like I think she took like 5 minutes for lunch, and then immediately someone came to her with like a myriad of problems, and then like I think that was it.
Just
You only got,
slowly
like-
close your eyes and come to
I was
terms with it.
basically, yeah, they like came to me and I was like, okay, I'll put in a ticket, but I ain't doing it though.
Yeah.
And so like I,
And
I assigned it to Mia, and then like more stuff was happening, and it's like, all right, I'm just like, I'll be at lunch, so nobody
Yeah.
on Teams bothers me, even though they still did, and
Yeah.
then I'll just work on other stuff, because
Yeah.
I seriously have so much stuff that I'm supposed to be getting done that I can't get done,
Mhm.
and that are like,
Yeah.
I was supposed to do this like a month ago, probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
If it makes you feel any better, you don't want to see my ticket board. I have stuff, I have projects that are probably like 3 months old.
Yeah, some of it's projects where we're like, we're trying to roll it out, or we're like, we are rolling it out, but we need to push it harder, or yeah. It's
The
like,
same in supplies. Like we're trying to like get. They want me to write processes for everything, and it's like great. Like, but with just
Yeah.
how much it takes every single day, like you don't have time for those long-term tasks. They
Yeah.
just don't get done.
Mhm.
Like I've
Yeah.
been thinking, I was like, well, maybe I could actually like do a little bit over the weekend. That way I can just like deal them out. Like, and I was like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like,
I know! I have that thought all the time. We're like, okay, I guess I'll just do some tonight, or I'll do like a couple hours on Saturday or something. And I'm like, what? No!
Yeah, yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. And it's like, no,
Like-
like, it's not the solution.
Mm-mm.
And the thing too is like I get home and I'm like, I'm not even touching a computer. Like I don't even want to look at a computer. And then it's the weekend and I'm like, oh, I'll do it later. And then it's like 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing. And then it's Monday and I'm like, well, here I am again.
That's fine. No, that's good. Don't do the things like
No,
Don't-
like that.
I
Don't
know,
do the
I agree.
things.
I shouldn't.
Totally
I
get it,
won't.
though.
It's so it really is difficult to know what to do, and I love that we're having a serious conversation while I look like this. But
Fantastic.
This is serious, Jeremy.
I think you should go to the office like that.
Please do nails and
Absolutely.
lights and
I
you
think
think
that
this
you
is coming off, sister? um it's sometimes difficult to know what to do because I feel like it almost feels like they're purposely giving all three of us more work than we ever could hope to accomplish in a normal workday. And I think that is kind of like a tool to get people to work more because they're always like, oh, well, I have to keep working so hard because I have this giant stack of stuff. Like I can't slack off.
Mhm.
But at the and then obviously there's always that fear of being laid off, especially in this economy. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I do feel like you do have to push back, and like trust me, I definitely push back. And it's like if you give into that and you start working an hour extra every day or like 2 hours extra every day, then it almost becomes like the new bar, like the new metric for you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, Jeremy
Yeah.
was able to accomplish all this, so then I'll give him even more. And then that kind of like turns into like this burnout cycle. So
Yeah, it's
I,
true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
because then if you were like, okay, well, I've been staying an hour
yeah,
extra or whatever it is for the
yeah,
past like month or a few months. I
right,
need to like in
right,
order to preserve like my sanity and
right,
whatever, I'm gonna like roll that back. I'm gonna rein it in, right? Or I'm
yeah,
gonna only attempt to accomplish these things that I know that I can accomplish today or this week instead of trying to
right.
do all of this stuff at once. And then it looks like, oh, well, they're not working as hard, or they're not, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? You're like, but I'm
Yep,
still working
yep,
really hard. I'm just not working at
yeah,
100. I'm working
yeah,
at 100%. I'm just not working at 150% or whatever.
exactly,
I also find that there's
exactly.
diminishing returns. Like when I
Yep,
feel too
Yeah.
overwhelmed, because I can do like 120% of the work of the average person, like as my normal like
right.
Yeah.
workflow. And I think y'all are the same way. Like y'all like
Yeah.
to
Yep,
um but once my workload gets to like 200%, now I'm given 90% because I feel overwhelmed. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
and not that I'm
yep,
like tearing my
Yeah.
hair out overwhelmed, but I just look at it all and I'm like, fuck me, right? I'm gonna look at my phone for a second. Like,
yeah, yeah,
That's exactly how it is too. I feel like there's definitely parts of it where like I'm sort of like I'm like falling behind or slack not actually slacking off, but like slacking off in a sense, or at least to the outside person who doesn't really know
or to your
could
inner guilt
or
that
my inner guilt.
yeah,
Yeah, or it's
that's
just like
me.
this is letting this kind of
mhm,
slide off
mhm,
without addressing it or whatever, and it's like it feels like I am actually giving less than I could normally give because if
yeah,
have this amount, and it's like it's overwhelming. So yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
I'll say this. I've I have been yelled at and like cursed out for not doing like one thing out of like a list of 15. And at a certain point you're just like I'm okay with it. Like I'll just accept that because it's like the
Yeah,
alternative is me working till like 6:30 every night again. which is just not acceptable. So you kind of just, you're like, I kind of feel like I'm rolling the dice here, and maybe they let me go because I'm not working, 24/7. But you're like, oh well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So
Right. I mean, it's hard to find. It's like, well, it's hard to find people who will do that and also keep people who will do that too. So,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I have my
And
weekly check-in with Calvin tomorrow, and I'm going to be like, hey, that thing I said I was going to get done by today, definitely not done.
Not done.
But it's like, and that's not
Yeah.
even for a lack of trying. Like I attempted to
Right.
do it and then discovered a bunch of obstacles that couldn't be overcome with more work. They had to be overcome with learning from somebody who's reticent to teach. So I get to just tell him that, and he's gonna be like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah." So once again, all the things that we'd like to do are pushed back yet another week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to you next Thursday.
Good use of the word
Goodbye.
reticent.
Yeah.
I got excellent vocabulary to describe why I can't accomplish the things I'd like to do.
Both of
Yeah,
you
I
are
have
working very
to.
hard.
Oh, thank you. So are you. Both of you are.
Both of y'all.
It's funny
Aw.
because like the screen is this way, but my camera is over here. So, it's like
I've
both
seen
of
you do that
you,
before, where you like gesture and then like you meander
Turn.
back to like
Yeah.
where we are. Yeah.
It's because like I'm looking at you guys this way, but the camera's over there. Yeah. So it's whatever.
Like seriously though, like even if your respective managers don't acknowledge the work that you're putting in, like I know how hard you guys are working, and you're both very smart and talented, and there's really nothing more that you can do. So if no one's telling you that, I will.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
I'm really lucky. Calvin does. I feel like Calvin hears me when I speak, so that's nice.
That's how I feel too. I don't feel, at least from a direct like report situation, that like, it's expected of me to have it all done and get it all done in the time that they are expecting it. But it is like, it's more, it's like, well, I mean, let's start making this portion the priority now, instead of, it's like, okay, sort of like redirect, I guess. But yeah, I don't, thankfully it's there's understanding there, so that's good.
Right.
I've been trying to implement like between this hour and this hour, I work on the long-term stuff, because like on days where it is slow, I feel like I need to I have to clean everything up, as opposed to like working on the long-term projects.
Yeah.
And I haven't implemented it yet, but I've theorized a bunch. And when the time comes, there's always a mountain of something else to deal with. But like, I still want to implement it, because that's the only way I'll get it done. But it's fucking hard.
Whenever there's like lulls, which are not very often, I find myself, like you said, either sort of cleaning up the things that I haven't been able to clean up,
Yeah.
or like almost taking a breather, because it's like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it's like, but this is the only time I have to get done.
Last Friday, was it last Friday or the Friday before last? But I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch episodes.
Yes.
And like it took 3 hours to get through a 45-minute episode or something, because of like constantly like going back and fixing stuff. And it was almost more stressful than just working. I did it.
You accomplished it though.
Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah, it does.
No, it totally makes sense. You need like that mental break, like to break up the monotony.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I was gonna say, so something funny did occur. So obviously, like, with so many projects, like I'm falling behind on my projects. So I see Billy come out around like 11:30, and there was like an auto elevate issue. and I see him looking at my monitors, and he's kind of like weighing it in his mind, and he's like, "Do I give this to Jeremy?" And
I saw
then,
him looking around too. He was like kind of looking
Yep.
around the room, and then he like
Yep.
looked at me, and I was like, "Damn it,
Yep.
what does he want? Damn it."
I could almost feel him doing the calculation in his head. He's like,
Yeah.
normally I would give this to Jeremy, but Jeremy's like 3 months behind on like a lot of his projects. And then he was like, who else is here? And I was like, whoop.
Who
That's
else
the
is
exact calculation. That
who
was
else
happening.
is just as behind but can also accomplish this?
Yeah. He saw me creating email connectors, and he's like, so anyway.
Yeah, and then I had to still get help because I was like, look, and honestly, it's something I could have figured out, but I was like, I'm not sitting here being a tech right now trying to troubleshoot this issue. I'm just gonna get
Yeah.
somebody on the phone who knows what they're doing, and we can get
Yeah.
past this, and I can close this GD ticket and move on.
Aw.
Because of course, it should be something as simple as like, just bypass auto elevate and then install the print drivers, and
Right.
it works. Except that it's a printer, so it doesn't just work.
Never.
Ooh.
It
In
never
fact, it's
just
engineered
works.
to not do that.
Right.
Ooh.
They specifically make printers so they don't work. So yeah, then I was like, I just put in the midst chat, I was like, all right, who here can help me? I need some help right now. And thank God somebody, Chris, actually like immediately responded. I was like, thank you. And I know he'll know
Oh,
what he's
nice.
doing. And it was literally like a 2-second, just like, change this one setting, save, test print. Woo,
Yeah.
it works now. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
like
It's almost
part of
not
it,
satisfying when you've been laboring over something and somebody else is
right.
like, oh yeah, I see, and you're like, fuck.
Well, and here's the thing. I didn't even try to labor over it. I just did the bypass auto elevate part so the print driver could be installed. And then I was like, I'm not sitting here trying to figure this shit out. So I was like immediately like, someone help me. But at the same time, it was a little bit like, okay, it was just that easy. It was just like literally one setting to turn off and save. So part of it was like, now I just feel stupid. But the other part is like, I mean, how long would it have taken me to try to find that setting? I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm already
A
shitty
lot
with
of-
printers as it is.
A lot of times it's not that you can't figure it out, it's that you don't have time to figure it out.
Well, and that was the big part too. Is like, I can't sit here and be a tech and try to troubleshoot. I know it's for the CEO, but I can't sit here and try to troubleshoot his issue.
Right. Right.
And waste my time as well as his time, when I could just get somebody who knows exactly what to do. So
Right.
yeah.
All right. On the next episode of Book Sluts, we will explore, is this sustainable? No.
They're like,
The
I'm
person that knew
unsubscribing.
exactly what to do in my field, they fired her.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is that too.
I told
My manager was fired too.
word. One of the
Yay.
like higher ups in supplies, or like the high up person in supplies, Doug Young, he messaged me and he was like, what flags you to like research these scenarios? And I was like, Doug, I research every fucking one of them every single time because that's what I have to do. And he sent me the like GIF, and I was like, yeah, just so you know, all of them is the answer every time.
Every single one.
Every damn
All of
one.
It was a pretty good moment for me.
You're like, now you see, don't you?
Yeah.
Now you get
Now
it.
you see. This is like the origin of a Stephen King villain.
I wish I was that cool.
I'm your #1 fan.
Just open my door and I'm in hell, and Satan's like, hey, you want to do something? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Why not?
All right. I think that's a good place to cut it so everyone can eat
Stephen
or
King
go
demon.
to sleep or possibly do drugs to deal with their day.
Nah, maybe just like a glass of wine. That's cool.
Yeah.
Caffeine and nicotine cap?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. I'm there.
I mean,
Right.
I think technically those could be considered drugs. You know,
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
mind altering, but you know.
And I will totally buy the cemetery riddles because
Oh
I haven't
yeah,
yet. But I'm totally buying the cemetery riddles, and we're all gonna have a lot of fun.
I
It's
want to
gonna
do
be
that.
amazing.
I want to do it.
Yes,
Yes.
Let's do it.
absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
Bye. See ya.
Goodbye. Ooh yes.
Hi, friends.
Bye.